Tonight, the state of Vermont is remembering a former governor with a strong legacy.
Governor Phil Hoff passing away at the age of 93 last night at his Shelburne home. NBC5's Tom Garris joins us at the live desk with how Hoff's family is remembering him. Tom.
Brian, Stephanie, his two daughters opened up about their dad, who was the first Democratic governor in more than 100 years. They touted his honesty and kindness and say they're incredibly proud.
They devote themselves to what they believe, and I devote myself to what I believe. God bless you, and thank you.
Dagny Hoff reading what she sent to a newspaper in the late 1960s, defending her father's dissent of the Vietnam War. She says he stood up for what he believed in until the day he passed away, Thursday night at the age of 93.
He told us to listen, not to talk, but to listen, so we could really relate and understand what people were going through.
Dagny and her sister Susan flipped through pictures of them with a man considered one of the founders of Vermont's liberalism.
He was passionate about his country. He wanted this country to be the very best that it could be.
Hoff was elected governor of Vermont in 1962, the first Democrat to hold the office since the Civil War. He said in a 1989 interview that he could see the political makeup of the state shifting. New Vermonters were leaning left, and that was his chance to run.
I knew that we were on our way in, plus the fact that, in a very real sense, I'm a natural outgrowth of Kennedy's election in this country in 1961.
Governor Hoff served for 7 years before ultimately making an unsuccessful U.S. Senate bid. He was a noted fighter for the environment, civil rights, and economic justice. Vermont House Representative Johanna Donovan was a longtime friend.
He was a good liberal, and he saw the value of using our laws, our dollars, to make life better for people.
His daughters say that he was really a shy guy, and that might not be a quality that immediately comes to mind for a head of a state, but they say he spoke from his heart and that people heard him. From the live desk, Tom Garris, NBC5 News.
Many Vermont lawmakers are reacting to the passing of former Governor Phil Hoff, and that includes Senator Patrick Leahy and Governor Phil Scott.
He served his country well. Was a World War II vet. I have an incredible amount of respect for anyone who serves their country, but particularly the greatest generation. So he will be sorely missed in Vermont.
Senator Leahy calls the former governor a visionary. He said, and this is a quote, "He put people first. He modernized education, the judicial system, and Vermont's economic vitality in ways that made lives better for generations of Vermonters."